Okay, we're going to tie a flashback hare's ear today, and you can see here's the finished product. What we're going to be doing here. So we're going to start off with a Daiichi number 1710 size 12, and we're going to put on a little 1/8 inch brass bead on it to get started here. So let's throw that on here, and we're just using some ultra thread size 70. Not super critical for this fly, since there's plenty of room to build up. You don't have to go too light or too heavy on this one. On this is a little variation because it has the flash shaboo for the wing case, but also something that makes it a little bit easier here is using a little bit of pheasant tail. And let's see if I can grab some here. Grab a little bit of pheasant tail that we're going to use for the tail, and I'll just cut off about 12 or so of these guys. Actually, that's a little more than 12. Take off a couple there. We'll throw those on the tail and just make it about a good, not quite the hook shank, maybe a little more than half. Tie that on there, get that situated just about back towards, not quite to the bend. And then what I'm going to use here is just some olive or some gold oval tinsel. You can use copper wire, lots of things. You can also put weight if you wanted to wrap some weight around the body. We're not doing that here. We're just doing kind of a normal fly. The only real weight we're adding is the bead. So we'll wrap this up, get this up out of the way here. And then once you get this, you're kind of situated and ready to start on your body. And I'm just using some hare's ear dubbing. You can also use a hare's mask if you want to get some specific, more natural stuff. And I'm just going to take, this is pretty good stuff here. You can see it's got some nice guard hairs in it. I believe this is kind of a tannish. That's a little clumpy there. I'm going to skip that one and just put on a fairly good size dubbing pile on here. And I'm not using wax at all, but you can if you want to wax up the thread so it sticks a little better. I'm just going to start wrapping. Start right towards the back. As you go forward, you just keep building it up, and you're kind of building a little bit of a tapered body. You can see that kind of comes unwound. That's right, because we're going to go back over it here in a little bit. So you kind of get the start there, and then we'll put a little bit more on. This body is kind of obviously a big part of the fly, because you want it to be a little bit buggy. And once you're feeling good with the body, I'm going to cut this off because I'm going to actually add some more of this on in a second here. So once you're feeling pretty good with the body, you can wrap your oval tinsel. You're just going to wrap it kind of 3 or 4 times, just right over the top. It depends on how long your body is. This one's just going to take 3 wraps. Make sure to secure it. The nice thing about these tying with beads is there's always plenty of room. You have to worry about the head too much, because there really isn't one, I guess, but kind of hide stuff up under the bead. So we're gonna just go right back here, and it's kind of a 1/3 to 2/3, 1/3 in the front, but we're gonna tie back a little bit. Now here's where the flash shaboo comes in. So we're just gonna cut off a nice chunk of flash shaboo. There's probably a dozen strands. You can even go more if you want to make it a little bit bigger. I think if you want, you can kind of sometimes just fold it over. I'm actually gonna grab a couple more here. just to make sure it's nice and thick. And so we got this pile on here. It's always getting flash glue, making it so it doesn't fall apart on it. But I'm just going to tie that right on top. Just try to get it right over the top. And get this really secure. I'm going to wrap back a little bit, just like that. Then you got to cut off all these little guys. I'll just wrap again, kind of cover things up. It's helping build up the thorax a little bit. Check it out how it's going to look. That'll be alright. Then we're just going to do a nice hefty front of the thorax with the same dubbing. See, there's a clump on here, so I'm going to spread it out a little bit. Then we're just going to start wrapping. This doesn't have to be perfect, just want to get it on there. Do one more. I want to see if I can get some guard hairs and stuff. It's really nice when you're tying this. You definitely want to get some of those little guard hairs, and that's why using the natural stuff is definitely can be a little bit better, because you'll get something that sometimes looks a little buggier, but this is looking pretty good. We'll be able to pick this out a little bit. So once you get that, come over the top, and then you just tie down your little wing case. Doesn't have to be much, just gives it that little bit of flash. Cut that off. Then you can just kind of come back and I would recommend putting some head cement or anything to secure this down a little bit, because you want to make sure this doesn't come undone on you. Just cover that up, finish up your fly. And you can even put some whatever type of glue you want. You could even put it over on the wing case, and that'll secure that a little bit. And then you can pick off the rest of them. But there you go. That's the fly. And I like to come back once I get this. You can just use scissors. You can use a brush. Just pick it out a little bit, make it a little buggier like this, especially on the front here on the thorax. Just to give a little more buggier look. You can see some of those guard hairs. You can pick it out a little bit back here too. So you can see this is a fairly, not a super thick fly. So there's room to, if you want to keep picking out a little bit. But that's essentially, pick off those long ones. That's the flashback hares here right there, beadhead hares here. And you can see it's got the gold really sticks out really well, and obviously the bead and the flash. So yeah, this is Dave from wetflyswing.com and the Fly Tying Mentor, and just wanted to let you know. You can stop anytime if you have questions or need any more feedback on anything, and I'll see you hopefully on the next video. We'll see you then.